ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé àti bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká jọlá ìṣọ̀kan tó nira ìkẹjẹ́ ká máa lépa tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sí ipò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀.
Ní London, Manchester, ní Belfast, Dublin, dúpẹ́ lọ yìí o, ojú ò ní tì í láéláé. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, ẹ̀mí gbogbo wa ó gùn láṣẹ Ọlọ́run, àdẹ̀jọ délẹ̀ lérí ni o. Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tọ́lọ́run ayé màmú mẹ́rin bàbá mi, Ọlọ́run bá mi tó ti Ọlọ́run ìfínlẹ̀ o. Mo dúpẹ́ gidigidi gan, mo dúpẹ́ o, ẹ̀sìn mo dúpẹ́, mo ti padà sí ìjàmá nílé ní báyìí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ White Lion, ìjọba pátápátá tí ò ní dàrú, àjọ délẹ̀ lérí ni. Àṣírí sáà mi, ọmọ tí ò gbọ́dọ̀ kù, kò sọ́mọ náà, ó ga. One love. Manchester, ní Belfast, Dublin, dúpẹ́ lọ yìí o, ojú ò ní tì í láéláé. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, ẹ̀mí gbogbo wa ó gùn láṣẹ Ọlọ́run, àdẹ̀jọ délẹ̀ lérí ni o. Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tọ́lọ́run ayé màmú mẹ́rin bàbá mi, Ọlọ́run bá mi tó ti Ọlọ́run ìfínlẹ̀ o. Mo dúpẹ́ gidigidi gan, mo dúpẹ́ o, ẹ̀sìn mo dúpẹ́, mo ti padà sí ìjàmá nílé ní báyìí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ White Lion, ìjọba pátápátá tí ò ní dàrú, àjọ délẹ̀ lérí ni. Àṣírí sáà mi, ọmọ tí ò gbọ́dọ̀ kù, kò sọ́mọ náà, ó ga. One love.
And a very good evening and welcome to the live transmission. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI and also the spokesperson for Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, popularly known as Igboho Osha. Today is the 21st of the month of October 2024 and it's just coming up to 5 minutes past or 10 minutes to 11 p.m. which is about 23 minutes about 10 minutes to 2300 hours. Today is the 22nd rather, not the 21st. And I'm speaking tonight on behalf of Igboho himself, and I'll also be adding my own input to the discussion. I can confirm officially, after a beautiful outing and a successful letter that was dropped by number 10 Downing Street on the 12th of October. A letter was delivered on behalf of the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Campaign, Professor Adebanji Akintoye. And that letter was handed over to Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. We took off at exactly 12 noon, right in front of the BBC Broadcasting House, Portland Place, with thousands of Yorubas that believe in the right to self-determination. We were given a maximum protection due to the fact that there's been a lot of rumors that Igboho will be kidnapped in the United Kingdom. And I'm using this opportunity to say a big kudos to the London Metropolitan Police and all the security agencies, including the MI5, that worked tirelessly to make sure that on the 12th of October, history was made in the United Kingdom and no one would dare disrupt that history. The history we're talking about is that for the first time that the British amalgamated Nigeria, and for the first time after 64 years of independence, Sunday Igboho was able to lead the quest of the self-determination rally that was put together by Ifelodun Apapo Omo Yoruba that himself endorsed, also in conjunction with many other independent groups that led to the outing in Manchester and Belfast and Wales. But the most highlighted part was not the dinner. The dinner was just to grace a successful philanthropist, a father, and a man that believed in humanity. Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho was graced at Hilton London Kensington Hotel with a total guest of about 200, and half of those guests returned back on Saturday morning to make sure that they were with him to lead the rally. Igboho arrived just before 12 noon, and after a salutation and a parade that was put together by Bishop Additional, Igboho then took charge. With him on the rail of the rally was Prophet Ologoluwa that flew in from the United States of America, was also lovely mothers and grandmothers and grandfathers, friends, and many that also hold on to the quest. Igboho was not doing this on his own. He was just representing millions of Yoruba people that believe that the Yoruba nation is the right of the Yoruba people. And Igboho, with others, including Miss, Sister, Auntie, Grandmother, Taiwo Lijadu, that has been an activist as far back as 1968, flew in from New York to also grace the occasion. We had many people that also flew in from other parts of the world. That indicated that Igboho was not just working on his own. Igboho was only telling the world exactly what the world needs to know. Under the rules of engagement, self-determination is a right. And Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho exercised that right with thousands of people that we were able, in the history of the United Kingdom, a complete road was shut down, not for Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, but for the millions of Yoruba people in the diaspora and back home that wanted self-determination. That meant that there was a lot of threat before the whole event. And as one of the coordinators that was kept and put in front to be in charge, I was communicating with the London Metropolitan Police and all the security agencies. But to our surprise, as usual, after the letter was delivered at exactly 1400 hours at number 10 Downing Street, the world went Google. And it meant that the federal government of Nigeria, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that was currently in London, but because of the intelligence that Igboho will be around, also flew out of London to Paris. He returned back to Nigeria on Sunday last week. But Monday, the 14th of October, according to the report that was coming from Abuja, the Ministry of Information, I believe, made contact with the British High Commissioner, Dr. Richard Montegori, to find out what exactly took place over the weekend, even though I can tell the world today that the federal government of Nigeria was fully informed and aware that Igboho would be leading a rally in the United Kingdom. But what the federal government did not confirm or were not aware is the letter. They knew that Igboho would be holding a rally because from the 3 months I posted that information after my principal approved with the leadership of Baba Kitoye, I got intelligence that the federal government has been informed as well. But what the federal government did not know is what were all the plans that Igboho will be held in London or it will be going forward. But what I can tell the world today is that Nigeria has held the Yoruba people for too long under the fraudulent amalgamation that the British government put together. I do not know the content of the letter myself. Neither does Igboho knows the content. The only person that knows the content of the letter is Professor Adebanji Akitoye and the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Group. But what the Nigerian federal government did not expect is the total security that was given to us, not only before, but after. Igboho flew into London on the evening of Friday, 11th of October 2024. I received him at the airport, at Stansted Airport. He was not on his own. He came with a beautiful wife and also Comrade Shola Kubodoku and likewise a brother, Tunde. And I can officially tell the world that there is no way tonight that Interpol has raised any concern to Igboho according to the report of the propaganda by the federal government of Nigeria that I'll be telling you a little bit further. I can now confirm that Igboho is back in Germany with his family and is doing very well, and I've spoken to him. But what has been in circulation in the last 7 hours is all different information to distort, just as it was done after the rally on Saturday the 12th and Igboho delivering the letter. The federal government went into extra measure to intimidate the British ambassador that does not have the right, and I say does not have the right, to discuss what was in the letter, because the letter was not addressed to the British High Commissioner in Abuja. The letter was addressed to the British Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, and at the appropriate time, they will respond to that letter when the letter has been read, and we tell the world when we have the acknowledgement of that letter. Many Nigerians started coming out with all kinds of different analysis that why should Igboho travel to London and deliver a letter? Why not the National Assembly? Let me remind you again that Igboho is not working on his own. Igboho is working just as many other leaders. But as the leader of the movement and as someone that does not believe in bloodshed and someone that believes that negotiation of the Yoruba people to be free out of Nigeria is a right, just as the vice president at the just concluded United Nations General Assembly stated clearly that the right of the Palestinians should be given for right to self-determination. But why the vice president has not stated the same thing with the Yorubas is what we don't know. But I'll come back to that later. It's not just the vice president. If we remember that President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, also stated clearly at the UN General Assembly before he left office that the Palestinian should be given the right to self-determination. Why we don't understand that the same President Muhammadu Buhari, the former ex-president, refused to acknowledge or respond to the letter that was sent to him in 2022. The same letter with an extra communication was sent to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu with the hope that he's not just a president, but he might also look from the angle that at the point where he was on exile in the same United Kingdom, he stated that Nigeria he does not believe in because Nigeria is not a one country. But as we know, politics has changed the dimension, and because of his own selfish ambition, he has decided to change his tongue, that he now believes in the unity of one Nigeria. Bola Tinubu, president, is not representing the millions of Yoruba people tonight that does not believe in Nigeria again. He has a right as an individual to state clearly that the unity of Nigeria will continue, but he does not have any right to tell Igboho and Babakitoye and the millions of the followers that we must remain one Nigeria. That is his own prerogative, and ours is under the United Nations. But what I can tell the world tonight is that the usual propaganda that played out after the attack of Igboho's residence is playing out again tonight. And we know where this is coming from. It is not new that on the 1st of July 2021, Igboho was about to be assassinated by not just President Muhammadu Buhari, the ex, but we know that many politicians present and those that does not believe in Igboho's mission and quest wanted him to be killed. Igboho survived, but 2 individuals died. As we speak tonight, I am calling again the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria that the dead bodies of Alhaji Fatai and Adogon is still with the DSS, and they need to be given a proper burial. Coming back forward, since the 12th of October, which is just about 10 days ago, the federal government is still not yet satisfied of what letter was delivered at number 10 Downing Street. What they've come up with is now to put out information that will distort the reason why the Yoruba wants to exit, try to put assassination of character against Igboho, and also put it out there that Igboho is now someone that needs to return back to Nigeria, according to a fraudulent website that is used by the federal government and the state government. They've cooked up all kinds of stories. And I want the world to continue to remember what we have told them after our letter to International Criminal Court. Another letter will be going out, and I can confirm tonight that Igboho's legal team will be issuing statement within the next couple of days, if not tomorrow, to warn those of you, media, to be careful of defamation of character, because tonight Igboho is with his family. He is not a wanted, not in the United Kingdom, where he conducted a successful rally and the delivery of a letter and a dinner. But what many are expecting is that Igboho should return back to Nigeria on November 7th. I'll come back to that because there's a lot of game being played out tonight. But what I can tell the world is that Igboho is still under the threat of the federal government. And I want this to be on record because the German authority is aware of every threat to Igboho's life. Likewise, I can confirm that the threat to Igboho's life was raised in the United Kingdom. And that is why nothing less than about 5,000 police officers were put on the spot to make sure that nothing happened. There were chemical threats to Igboho's life in UK. I'm telling us tonight. There were all kind of manners of threats to his life. But I am grateful and happy that the Metropolitan Police and all other security agencies that Igboho visited were all alerted, and Igboho was given all security that he was needed with his wife before he returned back. I make sure I walked him all the way through to the airport And I can confirm once more time that Igboho is back with his family and they're doing very well. And what next is the reason why I am out tonight. That many politicians are now concerned that the Yorubas that have spoken will no longer speak differently. We will speak with one voice, and that voice is that the Yoruba people want their total exit out of Nigeria, and that is the mission. I'm going to read this before we go to the other clip that was sent out to us about a Lagos court expecting that Igboho should be extradited back to Nigeria. Let me confirm, for those of you that are worried, Igboho will not attend any meetings with any king in Lagos State. As the spokesman, I repeat again, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho will not be going to Nigeria for whatever meeting. Any meeting with Igboho will be held outside Nigeria, and that will be with the United Nations involved, the European Union, the African Union, and many other of the Committee of the Yoruba Self-Determination. And that will be outside Nigeria, not even in Benin Republic. For many Yorubas that are worried and concerned that there is a meeting that has been called on November 7th, I can officially tell you that Igboho has no reason to attend such meeting. The meeting can be done without Igboho being involved or getting closer to where the venue of the meeting is. But since they are aware that Igboho will not be attending, they are now putting out all kind of allegation against my principle and the one that believe in self-determination. Let me read this quickly. And I can tell you that no other single press have picked on this story, because they know that if they do, we will push to make sure that they are not just going to be facing the consequence in Nigeria. We will be taking them to the court outside Nigeria, just as we have done with the former President Muhammadu Buhari that is currently under the International Criminal Court. It might take a while, but we hope that Buhari will be alive with many other that have done crime against Igboho to try to assassinate him and kidnap many that were living with him as at the time. Let's read this just for the record. But like I said, as of tonight, I have not seen or read these in any other press in Nigeria. But this has been put on what we call phonics. Let me tell the Yoruba people and the world that there's what I call the media propaganda. And the federal government has done this in the past. They did it in 2021. Even Professor Wole Soyinka stated that where is the cock and bull story that Igboho was stockpiling ammunition in his house? We know how the federal government operates, especially in African countries. And the world knows better. I don't need to tell the American government. I don't need to tell the European government. They know that the criminality of the federal government is not new, because we can go back as far as who killed Delegiwa. We can go back as far as who killed Funshaw Williams. We can also go back as far as who killed Tolulope Arotile. The world knows the propaganda machine of the federal government. So whatever the government is doing to try to put a different narrative of Igboho, it is too late. You can't do that anymore. I can tell you that it is too late. That is why Igboho was given over 5,000 security to guide him and those that will be with him on the 12th of October, before the letter was delivered at exactly 1400 hours. Let's read this quickly. And I say good evening, share the program. Breaking. Alleged $420,000 fraud. Court orders extradition arrest of Sunday Igboho. That is a catchphrase headline, because any Yoruba person that sees this kind of headline will automatically get a little bit concerned. And we can tell you that there's nothing to be worried about. First and foremost, Igboho is a billionaire, and he has his account has been closed. Well, not closed, but he has not had access to his account since 2021 after the assassination of his life. As we speak today, not even President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered that Igboho's account should be released. That tells you that there is something skeptical about the federal government and Igboho. Igboho is worth more than $420,000. But let's read through so that we can understand why this article is only coming up on one website. We've not seen it on other websites or any other news network. But I've picked another conversation with another YouTube account that I'll be telling you after I've played the video. Let me use this opportunity to warn in advance that any organization, and I'm speaking again on behalf of my principal, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, as a spokesman, any media, online and offline, that tried to put a narrative of Igboho in a negative way, knowing fully well that you can reach out to me to confirm, we will sue you not only in Nigeria but under the International World Court. So be prepared for a lot of loss of earning and damage your reputation, because we will make sure that the world that you want to portray Igboho as criminal already knows that Igboho is not a criminal. Igboho was only fighting for the right of his people. And that right means that as we speak tonight, he is someone that remained the person that he was 10, 20 years ago. But you will not put a narrative of fraud or other conspiracy. We know how the federal government operates. Bring one or two people and label them as part of the script or the scheme that Igboho was involved in a crime. Let me remind the federal government that your crime against October 20 of the killing of the NSAS is still under international limelight. You will not change the narrative of the crime against the Yoruba that Buhari killed 29,000 Yoruba people. We have gone past anything you can do to bring Igboho's name down. But what we will do is, we will come out to let the world knows the exact reason why we say we can no longer live in the same country where intimidation and many reasons that the world needs to know. Like I said, the letter on the 12th is still a big concern to the federal government and the criminal Sultan of Sokoto that thinks that it can use the Arab country to push the agenda, because I've just seen another article that the North paid a courtesy visit to Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. And let me say this clearly, Olusegun Obasanjo does not represent any one of us under this mission of quest to self-determination. He has every right to claim whatever he wants to claim. But I'm going to come back to that. But just take note of this headline. Obasanjo disclosed these when he received a 20-member delegation league of the Northern Democrat that was led by the former governor of Kano State, Alhaji Ibrahim Shakiru, at his penthouse inside Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, Abeokuta. I am a better as a Nigerian than in Oodua Republic. Igboho's letter that was delivered is not Igboho's letter. Igboho only delivered the letter on behalf of millions of Yoruba people. I'll come back to Obasanjo. That game is pushed by the Saudi and the Arab country to continue to push the North to find credible leaders within the Yorubas. Maybe we should ask Obasanjo, the ex-president, who killed Uncle Bola Ige. While under his nose, the Chief Justice of Nigeria was killed. Not just killed, murdered in his house in Ibadan. Till date, Obasanjo has a lot of questions to answer, and I believe we should be asking him that question. Let's go back to the article that put Igboho in the limelight in the last couple of hours that many of you must have seen and many of you are concerned. Again, it came as a breaking. The question is, what is breaking about this news? It is not the breaking, it is the character of the person involved. Put Igboho and add fraud and add other things to it and get all manner of fraudulent court injustice, court justice or whatever from Lagos State. We know that Lagos State could not give us the conclusion of those that were killed during the NSAS. But as we know, all the judges, quote and unquote, most of them are corrupt. So if any judge is putting an extradition treaty on Igboho, you should be prepared to have your name also sent to the International Criminal Court. Maybe we should find out a little bit more about whoever the judge is. Let's read this article quickly. A Lagos court has ordered the extradition and the arrest of a self-styled Yoruba Nation agitator, Sunday Adeyemo, aka Sunday Igboho, according to the City News Nigeria report. A Lagos Federal High Court has ordered the arrest and the extradition of the self-styled Yoruba freedom fighter, Sunday Igboho, popularly called Sunday Igboho, over alleged fraud of $420,000, $660,000. Other affected by the extraction and arrest order is one Kunmi Olusegun Francis, who was alleged to have conspired with Igboho to commit the alleged infractions. Justice Ambrose Louis Alago, who is the one that has given these according to the article, who presided over the court, made the order on Monday square to an expert motion that was brought before the court by the operatives of the First Criminal Investigation Department, Annex Alagbon Ikoyi, Lagos. The first CID, through Barrister S.O. Ayodele, a legal officer in his legal department, has specifically asked the court for the following orders: an order of honorable court to issue warrant of arrest against the defendant and respondent in order to secure their appearance in court, an order directing the police to declare the defendant and respondent wanted by publishing their names in the Police Bulletin Gazette, the same tactics that Buhari used in 2021. They are trying another tactics to hope that whenever Igboho travels around the world, they can pin him down. But like I said, we are also waiting because the federal government is coming to the end of Nigeria with all their steps, because the international community knows that Igboho is not and has never been a criminal, and that is why he's been given a full humanitarian support in Germany, where he lives with his wife and children. Many Nigerians need to understand that the federal government is the criminal that has allowed the crime against humanity. We're not just talking about the economy, we're talking about security of the Boko Haram that the military could not stop. Yet they are hoping that they can put and label Igboho as a criminal. And for such order or other orders as the Honorable Court may deem fit to make in the circumstances of this case, in urging the court to grant the orders, Barrister Ayodele told the court that the motion for the orders was pursuant to Section 113-114 of the Administration of the Criminal Justice Act 2015, Extradition Modification Order 2014, and the Federal High Court Extradition Procedure Rules 2015, and under the court inheritant jurisdiction. He told the court that the motion was supported with affidavit of 9 paragraphs disposed to by Muhammadu Usman, a chief superintendent of police, another Fulani man, take note of that name, who led the team that investigated the alleged crime. So you can see the game that is being played out. Put a Fulani man and use a Yoruba court and a Yoruba judge to put a warrant arrest and put a libel against Igboho. just as it was played during Awolowo. And I hope the Yoruba people are taking note of all these, because you might say it is nothing because you disagree with Igboho, but the Fulani agenda is cracking quicker than we might think. If we do not stop the Fulani agenda on Yoruba soil, it could be you that they will be wanted by the Fulani in your own land. You might not like what we do, you might disagree with it, but it could be your children that the Fulani will deal with when the time comes. But that will not happen because the end of Nigeria is gradually cracking through the hole that has been sealed for 110 years of the fraudulent amalgamation. He also told the court that the motion is attached with a written address, some documentary exhibit, which includes a 2-count charge of obtained by false pretense and stealing of goods worth the mentioned amount. He urged the court to grant the motion in the interest of justice. Justice? Did I just hear justice? We are looking for justice for Bamishe. We are looking for justice for Tolulope Arotile. Pelumi, we are looking for justice. We are looking for justice for Daddy Yati, that no one knows where he is right now. Millions of Nigerians are looking for justice for crime against humanity by the federal government, both present and past. I'm surprised that I'm hearing the word justice. So if there's going to be justice, the justice is to dissolve Nigeria now before it is too late, because the end of Nigeria is gradually coming true. Then Justice Louis Alago, after listening to the police lawyer submission, held that the application has merit. Another criminal judge. When we tell you that Nigeria is a crime scene, I'm sure that this judge has been paid and he has granted on merit after listening to rubbish and garbage. But we know how this plays out. But what we are telling the Yoruba is, we are now in danger. It is not Igboho that is in danger, because, like I said, Igboho remain under all eyes of the world on him for the killing and almost killing of himself and also threat to his life. Igboho left United Kingdom without any police interruption. If Igboho was meant to have been picked up, he would have been stopped here in the United Kingdom. But Igboho has returned back to Germany with his family. So Justice Lewis has now allowed Muhammad Usman, a Fulani man, the chief superintendent of police in Lagos State. You see what we're telling you? I hope you are watching that the game of the Fulani is cracking into every part of Yoruba land. Muhammad Usman is telling a Yoruba judge in Lagos State to put Igboho after listening to their garbage. Justice Louis Algo thereafter adjourned the matter to December 5th. Part of the affidavit in support of the motion read, I, CSP Muhammad Usman, a Fulani man that probably came to Nigeria with his forefathers from Niger or wherever they come from, because we know that Fulani was not part of Nigeria. And look at all the learned Yoruba people around the world sit behind and allow the same thing to be played again. By these criminals on our own soil. And for you, you're comfortable with that. For you, that makes you happy that a Fulani man will come to Yoruba land calling himself a CSP. How did he arrive at the CSP when many of our fathers, uncles, well-read, are not given the same position as a CSP? We know that if not that Tinubu was in power, we know that there will never have been an IGP that is from the Yoruba side, because we know how the game has always been. As I speak to you, the military has denied it, but the rumor is that Lagbaja is dead. I don't have that evidence in my hand. But we know that he's from Osun State, a Yoruba man. He's only been in office for less than a year, and he has been flew out of Nigeria for whatever reason. It shows that the Fulanese are not comfortable even with Tinubu as the president. In as much as you might be excited that you have Yoruba positions occupied, it is only for a very limited time. Just if we allow Nigeria to continue, which would not be, whoever Tinubu put in will all be kicked out as soon as it completes, whether it's 4 years tenure or 8 years. But one thing is, we will not be able to control the north that is now fully occupied by Fulani, because the current APC chairman spoke, that I heard on video. I'm talking about Ganduje, that he is a Fulani man. Have you ever thought about his agenda after Tinubu? Put that in your mind for now. So a Fulani man called Muhammadu Usman, known as the CSP, I'm sure he has no qualification, but look at learned Yoruba people that are well read inside Yoruba land. Is it not the same game that you will be given a particular cutoff mark and someone in the north will have the lowest cutoff mark and they can get to any university? Do you still want to be part of Nigeria? You better start thinking, because the Nigeria of our dream is no longer the dream again. We should all rise up in support of our quest, especially you, the Yorubas. You will become something else if we do not stand against them. But we will not sit back. And that's why we are doing what we are doing tonight, to make sure that we can save you and your family, because your family are all under the threat. I, CSP Muhammadu Usman, a police officer attached to the Interpol department that cannot find the criminal terrorists that are terrorizing you. Imagine that a police officer attached to the Interpol department. Many of you have been kidnapped. I'm sure you know someone, or you've heard about someone. You want to remind you? Mr. Gbenga Olabi flew from Maryland, wanted to set up a business. Well, not set up, probably maybe extension. He was kidnapped by Fulani, but this criminal CSP bomb bastard, known as Muhammadu Usman, could not find or trace who was kidnapping Mr. Gbenga Olabi. Let's take you back to Igboho and many other cases. But he's more happy to put Igboho on extradition nonsense and garbage. That I am the team leader that investigated a case of fraud and criminal diversion of funds and threat to life against the defendant. Imagine a Fulani man is now telling me to tell Igboho that you are the fraud criminal. But under Buhari, the former president, 29,000 Yoruba people were murdered and killed. I'm not talking about those that were killed with hunger. I'm talking about those that were killed in their house, killed on their farms, kidnapped. Ransom was paid by the family of Oluwalabi Gbenga. Ransom was paid by many others. And you know what happened? They were still killed. Well, since the Yorubas have slept for too long, the Fulanis have now taken over as a CSP under the Yoruba soil. Now questioning a Yoruba son with a tribal beautiful mark. Do you understand what that means? If they can deal with Igboho with his tribal mark, many of us that doesn't have beautiful tribal mark will be dealt with, that you will not survive on that soil if we allow Nigeria to continue. That is the reason why the disintegration of Nigeria is now or never. That by the virtue of my duty, this is a criminal bomb buster Fulani man. As the team leader of the investigating team, I am conversant with the fact of the case, and that the office of the Assistant Inspector General of Police of Nigeria Force Criminal Investigation Department, Alagbon, that could not investigate the killing of the people during the NSAS, because they knew who was killing the young Nigerians with the Nigerian flag. But he's not interested in that. He's more interested in putting Igboho into this discussion. That one Captain Ola Alufa, whom is the nominal complaint, made a statement to the police confirming the content of the petition. They are not talking about petition. Remember that it is only 10 days that a letter or petition was dropped at number 10 Downing Street, and they're already concerned. Now they need something to twist around the discussion so that your mind will be far away from what was discussed in the London letter that I don't have privilege to know. But they want now you to be worried and concerned. I will tell us not to be worried. It is just the agenda of the Fulani that is playing out as we speak today. That the Interpol section of the 4 CID, another criminal department, Alagbon, is working in conjunction with the Ministry of Justice to facilitate mutual legal assistance to repatriate the defendant and respond to enable them stand trial. Do you understand what that means? They want Igboho to be extradited back to Nigeria for trial. They should first go and pick the bomb bastard Muhammadu Buhari to come and stand trial for the killings of the Yorubas and the killings of others within Nigeria. Bomb bastard. That it will be in the interest of justice to grant this application to enable the applicant arrest. Now they want to use Lagos courts. You are more worried about the King's meeting. There's a lot of King's meeting that is already playing out in these. They know that Igboho is not going to attend any of their rubbish meeting because Elegushi told us clearly that Yoruba are not part of Lagos, that they want to be an independent country of their own, another bomb bastard king. That I disposed to this affidavit in good faith, believing same to be true and in accordance with the oath. What oath? The oath that Buhari did not abide by to protect and secure Nigeria. Rather, Buhari opened the borders and allow influx of Fulanis to invade Yoruba land and the rest of Nigeria. But many of you that disagree with Igboho will cry if we allow this to continue. And that is the reason why the fight to self-determination must all be all hands on deck. Adeyemo, aka Sunday Igboho, sometimes in March 2024 in Lagos, within the Judicial Division of this Honorable Court, did by false pretense. They're talking about March this year. Igboho has not stepped foot in Nigeria apart from when he came to visit, to bury his mother. A Yoruba man has been put on exile by Fulanis. And look at Yoruba people all over the world are not doing anything to make sure that that is stopped. It could be you that will be on exile on your own soil. Who own the soil? We, the Yoruba, owns it. And at the appropriate time, we will deal with the right method of taking back what belongs to us. I have stated clearly that UK does not and will not give you a country. But the process to de-amalgamate Nigeria have started already. Not today, 4 years ago. So that is what this letter or this article that I've read. So if you look at the headline, alleged $420,000 fraud, court order extradition arrest of Sunday Igboho. Just to summarize, fẹ́yìn yẹn wa gbogbo tí mo ti ń sọ̀bọ̀ láti bí wákàtí kan. Òun ni pé ìjọba Nàìjíríà ara ti ní wọ́n, ọkàn wọn balẹ̀, Ọlọ́run rẹ̀ ní jẹ́ kọ́kàn wọn balẹ̀. tá a máa fi délẹ̀ lérí láti ọjọ́ mẹ́wàá sẹ́yìn tí olóyè Ìgbòho ti gbé lẹ́tà wọ ìjọba UK. Kò ń ṣe right àbí kò ń ṣẹ̀tọ́ ambassador láti sọ fáwa ìtagbé lọ sí inú ilé ìjọba ti bí. Lóòótọ́ òun ló jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí representation or representative fún ìjọba bíbá, bọ̀ kò ní ẹ̀tọ́ kankan láti jẹ́ kí ọmọ Yorùbá máa mọ̀ léèní pé lẹ́tà tá gbé lọ kò sí nǹkan kan tó ṣe lẹ́tà yẹn. That letter was approved by the UK Prime Minister, and the content in tó kọ sínú ẹ̀ ó ti rí tásìkò bá tó wá ṣiṣẹ́ rẹ̀ lórí. Bọ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, ìjọba Nàìjíríà wọ́n ti wá tún gbé gbogbo iṣẹ́ ibi wọn tó máa ń ṣe nílùú Èkó. Ọmọ Fúlàní tó jẹ́ CSP ó lọ fi ẹ̀sùn tí wọ́n cook ó fi kan bàbá wa olóyè Ìgbòho pé wọ́n ń wá fún ẹ̀sùn $420,000. Ó dẹ̀ ti di dandan pé kó gbé padà wá sílé. Mo wá fẹ́ ká fòyà, mo fẹ́ ká bẹ̀rù. Iṣẹ́ lọ lórí ẹ̀. Ìtọ́fẹ́ ṣe ni pé wọ́n mọ̀ pọ̀ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ tí mo lè sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbẹnusọ ẹ̀, ó ti kúrò ní Germany, ó ti kúrò ní UK rather, ìyẹn lénìí. Ó dẹ̀ ti padà sí Germany pẹ̀lú ìyàwó ẹ̀ àtàwọn tọ́jọ́ wá láti Germany. Ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀, kò sí wàhálà, ẹ lọ sùn, kò séwu kankan. Àní pẹ́ parí ètò ti alẹ́ yìí, àmọ́ ẹ jẹ́ àtúgbọ́ bí àwọn mídíà kan náà tún ṣe gbé jáde lórí platform tiwọn.
Who presided over the court made the order on Monday, sequel to an ex parte motion brought before the court by the operatives of the Force Criminal Investigation Department, Annex OLAYOMI KOIKI, Lagos. Now, the question that is in the minds of a lot of persons is this coming because Sunday Igboho went to number 10 Downing Street in the UK to actually submit a petition asking that Yoruba should be given an opportunity to extricate themselves out of Nigeria? Because the question a lot of persons are asking is, why is this coming out now? This is the second time he'll be arrested or declared to be arrested.
Hello, I'm Paul, a specialist at the...
Barrister Fred, are you still with us? All right, let me try and call you back because the network is very poor, so I'll connect with you again.
Eléyìí tẹ́ ń gbọ́ yìí, òun náà ni ó bá the letter that we read earlier, and this is coming from Voice of the People. I don't know what kind of Voice of the People. All these, brown envelope journalists that does not have the capacity because they are scared of their life, and we understand they are scared of being kidnapped and killed by the same government in Nigeria. You might be asking, where is Daddy Yati? So this was a program on their platform just 5 hours ago was posted. I'm not sure when this program was held, but I know this was in Lagos.
All right, please. Mr. Chukuma, can you respond to that?
Yes, it's despite some kind of how can I put it now? Despite some kind of interesting coincidence again. Is it a conjunction of ugly coincidence that this thing is happening just at a time that this young man has gone to the UK? He specifically wrote a letter, petition to the Prime Minister asking him to help facilitate the exit of Yoruba Nation from the Nigerian nation. So, and shortly after that, we have a court asking the Nigerian government, the UK, to extradite him. I think good thing Nigeria has an.
Let me put it this way: Igboho does not live here. Igboho lives in Germany with his family. And if the federal government, this is the kind of false narrative that they put out all the time, that UK and Nigeria has extraditory, and that means Nigerian government wanted Igboho to be, arrested in the UK. But like I said, I was with him all the way through until he left UK today. But what you will have heard from that conversation is that they want to arrest Igboho in the UK. Well, I can tell you that no one wants or wanted or would like to arrest Igboho in the UK. Not the UK police, not the Interpol. The person we should be arresting is Buhari for crime against humanity. The person we should be arresting is Malami, the criminal former AGF that went to Kenya and kidnapped another freedom fighter. The person we should be arresting is those criminals that worked within the government of the past and the present. And we are looking for each one of you because you would all be arrested here and be persecuted, just as we did with Ike Ikiremadu, that is now serving a sentence in the UK. And I am looking forward to the court case of Alison Madueke Dezani, the former petroleum minister and the OPEC chairman, that has been charged by the National Crime Agency for crime against humanity.
Extradition treaty with
The United
Kingdom. In one sense, this government is trying to play decent.
Okay, or play it safe.
Play decent, not even safe. Play decent. Considering that in 2021 we had a sheriff, who took laws into his hands and brought back Nnamdi, kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu, renditioned him, which is translated to mean.
So, is it that Bola Tinubu also want to kidnap Igboho back to Nigeria? A lot is playing out. Let me say it, Fẹ́yànmọ́ Yorùbá, Olóyè Igboho kò ní any reason láti lọ bá àwọn ọba kankan ṣe ìpàdé ní November 7. I can tell you officially that Igboho is going nowhere. So ẹ ní láti pè wá, ẹ ní láti gbé ẹ̀mí sọ́kàn. Mo ń sọ̀rọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí agbẹnusọ ẹ̀ pé Igboho ò ní lọ sí Nàìjíríà láti lọ bá wọn ṣe ìpàdé ẹgbẹ́ kankan pẹ̀lú àwọn ọba kan níbi kan tó ti fẹ́ ṣe, níbikíbi tó bá wù wọ́n ti ṣe. Gbogbo ìpàdé tó bá fẹ́ bá Igboho ṣe, wàá lọ sí Germany, wàá lọ bá ṣe níbẹ̀. That's even if he would entertain such.
Kidnap in legal terms, some lawyers say that rendition somebody means to kidnap the person outside the territory, where a crime was supposedly committed. So in 2021 we had a Buhari government rendition Nnamdi Kanu and brought him back here when he was on bail. The same court, Supreme Court has said discharge this man, and they granted him. Well, they didn't even grant him administrative bail, and the Attorney General said no. And within some hours.
And that Attorney General is the one that we should be looking for to be put on trial in the UK. And we are looking for every one of you when the UK government must put a lot of you on trial, just as they are doing with Dezani, that ran out of Nigeria for a very long time, but he has now been charged for a crime by the National Criminal Agency in the UK, NCA. So we are looking forward to gbogbo ẹ̀yin olè, ẹ̀yin bomb bastard, that we will make sure that some of you will spend a couple of years in the UK prison.
Charges,
That was the former AGF.
Yes, fresh charges were filed against him, and that is why they are still keeping this young man in detention. Like I said, this government has told a part of decency in this regard. So let's see how it plays out. It's going to be a tortuous legal process, because the extradition process is not a very easy one.
Yeah.
That said, it's concerning that it's at this time that why didn't the court understand that this crime had supposedly been committed, before the man went to.
In fact, let me tell you, there's an order directing the police to declare the defendants, respondents, wanted by publishing their names in.
Did you hear that? So, offered more Igboho cop visit again. We wanted. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ múra sílẹ̀. Ilẹ̀ yín tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbà kò ń ṣe ilẹ̀ Igboho nìkan. Igboho ní right láti jókòó sí Germany níbi táwọn mú ẹ wá, torí ó ti ní ilẹ̀ síbẹ̀, a máa gbé níbẹ̀. But àwa ta ní ìran ilẹ̀ ló fẹ́ gbà mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. Nígbà tó bá ń declare Igboho wanted, àbí interface nìyẹn ẹ lọ múra sílẹ̀ ọjọ́ ń súnmọ́ bọ̀ lọ́lọ́dúnmarè sọ àwa la nílẹ̀ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ kan la máa sọ lórí social media ó ti yé yín àbí ó kù díẹ̀ nìbọn ró ó kù díẹ̀ nìbọn ró ẹ lọ máa gbára sílẹ̀ torí pé wọ́n ní gbà àwọn ọba tó fẹ́ ṣèpàdé another program la máa wá ṣe lórí yẹn gbogbo intelligent wọn ó wà lórí desk mi ẹ fún mi títí di ọ̀la sọ́túnla I just had to come out tonight even though the plan was not to come out but my principal asked me to do so and in 10 minutes I'll be ending this broadcast.
In the Police Bulletin Gazette, in urging the court to grant the orders, Barrister Ayodele told the court that the motion for the orders was pursuant to sections 113, 114 of the Administration of Criminal.
When they talk about all this section, you wonder if there's a country called Nigeria. Because it's a criminal country. A country that does not respect rule of law. It's not talking about section blah blah blah, section po po po. All criminals, àwọn olórí burúkú lè, àwọn bomb bastard tó ní kúre, òkú díẹ̀. Àti jọ́ọ̀jù, àti lọ́ọ̀yà o, àtọlọ́pàá o, àwa la nílẹ̀. In tó bá dẹ̀ ń wà la máa wá ṣe lórí ilẹ̀ wa tásìkò bá tó. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń lé, ẹ lọ máa múra sílẹ̀ ju ti tẹ́lẹ̀ lọ. Mo ní sọ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Let's just listen a little bit more, then we'll end this program.
Justice and Federal High Court Extradition Procedure Rules 2015 under the court's inherent jurisdiction. He also told the court that the motion was supported with affidavit of 9 paragraphs deposed to by...
That's exactly what I've read. We don't need to listen. I just want you to know that that is the propaganda that is playing out. Since the 12th of October, one nísinmi. Ọlọ́run ẹ̀rí ń jẹ́ kẹ́ nísinmi tí Yorùbá máa fi kúrò nínú ìdààmú tí ẹ fi wá sí nínú wàhálà tí a wà nínú ẹ̀. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ lọ sùn kẹ́ fọkàn yín balẹ̀. Àlàáfíà ni ọmọ yín wà, àlàáfíà ni ẹ̀gbọ́n wa wà, àlàáfíà ni ọ̀nkú wa wà. Olóyè ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ó ti dé Germany, kò sí ewu rárá, kò lè sí ìbẹ̀rù. Àlàáfíà ni bàbá Akíntóyè wà, àlàáfíà lèmi náà dúró, mo dúró dáadáa. Mo ní mi ní last man standing lórí ìrìn àjò yìí. The end of Nigeria, a máa make sure parí. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yé ni. Ẹ lọ máa múra sílẹ̀. Torí pé tásìkò bá tó, gbogbo wa la máa yé tàbá bọ́ sórí ẹ̀wọ̀n ó kù díẹ̀. Díẹ̀ tí mo sọ yẹn kò pẹ́ mọ́, ó kù díẹ̀ nìbọn ró. Ẹni tó bá ti yé kó dìbẹ̀ yẹn mú. Now, let's just say thank you so much again to every one of you that have joined us tonight for this special broadcast. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, and like I said, I've come out on behalf of Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho just to clear the air that he left UK. There was no questioning by the Interpol or the police. Rather, he was given a maximum protection throughout his days. I will not go into all the details. I worked tirelessly with the group of Ifelodu Apapo to make sure that we gave Igboho all the protection that he would need to conduct a peaceful rally. That rally has now gone in the history that we shut down Regent Street. Thank you so much to all the stewards that work on the day. Thank you to all the volunteers. Thank you to Manchester. Thank you to Olorieko. Thank you to all the team in Manchester for putting out a successful outing after we left London. Thank you so much to Manchester once again. It was a great thing. We still have the ball. If you are still interested in Igboho's ball that will be signed officially by him, the bidding as we speak right now is still under £100. You can reach out to me and say, I will bid on top of that. The last bidder will take the ball. Also, we've gone to Wales. Kayode Mola, thank you so much for hosting us in Wales. It was a great outing. Then we went and traveled to Belfast, where we held another massive, important day for Igboho. Thank you to Sir Collie, Mr. Kunle. Thank you to Olushesi. Thank you to those that travel from Dublin. Thank you to those that travel from Newcastle. Thank you to those that travel from London. Thank you all. Belfast was good. I'll be returning back very soon. a population of 365,000. Thank you to Yetunde's Kitchen. Thank you to Mama Bobo. Godfather, respect. And to everyone that made the Belfast outing a successful one. Thank you. And to everyone that contributed one way or the other. All the comments, all the sharing. Make sure you share this program. This is the program that we expect you to share, because this is the counter narrative of the criminal Fulani against Igboho. But like I said, Igboho has a strong media and also strong support of Yoruba people. He's not a wanted man. He's sleeping right now, and I will also be going to bed as someone that is not wanted. We are not criminals, and we will not do any criminality, but we will make sure that the agenda of the Yoruba will be successful in our lifetime. There's no doubt about it. And when I say our lifetime, it is not anymore far away. Kujina Morara, I will leave it like that. Yoruba nation, no going back. Mokibugua, I will not be mentioning all the names, but I will be saying thank you so much to my beautiful mother and my wives for standing close, shoulder by shoulder with me. Mokibugua Len Conceal. Yoruba nation for life, no retreat, no surrender. No retreat, no surrender. Let's listen and we play the anthem and we go.
London, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, dúpẹ́ lọ yìí o, ìlú ní tí láéláé. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, ẹ̀mí gbogbo wa ó gùn láṣẹ Ọlọ́run, Adéjọ délé lérí ni o. Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tọ́lọ́run ayé màmá mi bàbá mi, Ọlọ́run bá mi tó ti Ọlọ́run fi ilẹ̀ o. Mo dúpẹ́ gidigidi kan, mo dúpẹ́ o, ẹ̀sìn mo dúpẹ́. Mo ti padà sí ìjà wa nílé ní báyìí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ White Lion. Ìjọba pátápátá tí ò ní dàrú, Adéjọ délé lérí ni. Sísá mi, ọmọ tí ò gbọdọ̀ kò sọ́mọ náà, ó ga.
And that's him exiting the UK without no police stopping him, rather with police giving him the final escort to his plane. He had more than a presidential outing. And just for record purpose, Igboho beat Bola Tinubu to number 10 Downing Street. Thank you so much, Ifelodun Apapo, for putting this together, and all the media that worked tirelessly. Thank you so much, Bedu. Thank you to all our medias that are working both in the UK and outside UK to pick all the network news while Igboho was there for those days that we were together. A lot were discussed, but they're all confidential. A lot, I can tell you. I'll be sharing a little bit. But Eloma Dunu, we are almost going home. Lashedumari, Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Udaro. Kashishe kajola ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ìkẹjẹ ká máa lépa tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀ àwọn ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀.